There's a freighter next to us. They are starting to check the lines. I don't see the gangplank anymore. Let me turn this around so you can see. And I don't know, so I'm gonna start with a preface here of saying that I don't know how long this is gonna last this evening. We are on eSIM, which is only running LTE, and I've got the wireless connected on the Wi-Fi. So we'll see how this goes, and my battery is slightly low because I didn't have time to connect it more, charge it more than I'd hoped. So here we are. Hi, Patty. How you doing? So, Ushuaia. Ushuaia is, wow, 20 people here already. Wonderful. Thanks for joining us. Saturday afternoon for you guys. So this is Saturday evening, January 31st, Saturday evening at 8 p.m. or just before 8 p.m. in Ushuaia, Argentina. Here, let you see it loading up a cargo here. This is the southernmost city in the world, we're told. The end of the world. And here we are. Our next destination is Antarctica. And we just received a map tonight, and I will post it on Facebook and talk about it a little bit. Oh, this is kind of fun to watch. This is definitely not the kind of loading you see in some places. Wow, these guys are really incredible to wing those things around. So, yes, Keith Ann, it is cold. I think today we're looking at 40 degrees. Sunny. It was very sunny here today. Just a beautiful, gorgeous day. It got up probably 49, but with the wind, felt like 40 to 45. But absolutely gorgeous day here in Ushuaia, the bottom of the world. We took an excursion. I'm sorry, Allison's not here, in case you hadn't noticed. She's downstairs. And so again, another divide and conquer tonight. So there's a lot going on. I mean, when you get 80 people in a group, there's a lot going on. And so, but we wanted to bring you a Sailaway. We wanted you to see where we are. And thank you for joining us. Just an absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous day. The sunshine was there all day long. This is just amazing to watch. The excursion we took was called the End of the World Visit on a bus. Oh, we've got people still coming off of catamarans down here. Those are probably the ones that went to the out in the Beagle Channel. Let me whip around here and show you. So this is Ushuaia. These are the mountains of Ushuaia. It started as a penal colony. We took an excursion last time on a train that kind of showed us some of that. But this is the Beagle Channel. And this morning, we came from that direction. That's the airport over there on that little bluff over there. And we came around that little piece and came up into the harbor. And then this evening, we're gonna go out that direction. So just wonderful. I'll tell you a little bit more about our morning because it was absolutely gorgeous. We just had a wonderful time. So here we are in Ushuaia, and our excursion, as I was starting to say, it took us on a bus out of the harbor, out of the town here, and into the Tierra de la Fuente, Fierro, Fireland, okay? Oh man, my brain is not here right now. Tierra del Fuego, the end of the world national park. And it was interesting because as you enter the national park, the paved road goes away. And all the way through, it is graded dirt road. And 40, 50 buses. So this is not new to them. They know what they're doing. Little vans, personal cars. So we went to see, I see the comments. Thank you for, yes, this is definitely the end of the world and absolutely gorgeous. I'm afraid to go to the other side. I don't want to lose the signal like I did last time. So I'm just going to hang here and we'll see. Hopefully the ship will swing around the way I'm expecting it to, and I'm hoping the noise isn't too loud here. I'll back up just a hair. But the Tierra del Fuego, my Spanish is lacking this evening, as it always is. But it was an absolutely wonderful excursion. We went to see Lake Como. Thank you for joining us. Yes, a bucket list item. Oh, this is so much for all of us. You see the trucks coming down the wharf, down the pier. But just beautiful. We saw the lake. Beautiful, beautiful view. Historically, I don't know whether it was anciently or what. The lake actually used to be a fjord. It was connected here to the channel, but at some point landslides came in and blocked it down to just a river, so that now there is a bay and a lake that are disconnected as to being together and no longer a fjord, but simply a lake and a river and a bay. Absolutely gorgeous. We will have pictures up later today about that, showing you just the beautiful, beautiful countryside here. Then we went to another bay. Well, we went to the lake, then we went to the bay, and then we went to what's called the Bay of Ensenada. And that one is directly on on Beagle Channel, and got to see that. And the location where that is the end of the world. So think back to your history, to things that you've heard. The Pan American Highway, a highway that stretches from Alaska to the tip of South America. And we got to go for a kilometer or two on that highway and see the Pan American Highway as it, I guess you could say it ends here, but it could be starting here as well. Over 14,000 kilometers from here to Alaska. And so we got to see that Pan American Highway. Just incredible. So here we are. Let me tell you a little bit this morning. Again, you can see them down here returning from these two catamarans you see. Those went up and down the Beagle Channel, and they did what was called wildlife excursions. So I'm sure they saw whales, I'm sure they saw dolphins, and definitely saw seals, because we saw seals this morning as we came in. So last night, you'll remember, we left Point Arenas. And as we departed Point Arenas at 6 o'clock, we headed west. Okay, and you'll remember the day before we had departed, we had entered the Straits of Magellan. Again, thinking back to your grade school learning. So the Straits of Magellan that took us from the Atlantic Ocean to the Pacific Ocean. And it's in a protected waterway, natural protected waterway. That is where we entered from the Atlantic Ocean and then stopped midway at the Point Arenas, Chile, southernmost city in Chile. And then last night we headed west. And by the time we had gone to bed, we had entered the Pacific Ocean. So we went from the Atlantic to the Pacific in a day's time with a day's stop. So we could have done it in a few hours. So we were able to then enter the Pacific Ocean, and we came down the west coast, the southernmost west coast of Chile. And around 4 in the morning, we entered the Chilean fjords. And sunrise was about 5:30. Now, anybody here who has been to Norway, anybody here who has been to Alaska, you will understand and appreciate, and also I have not been to New Zealand, but I understand it rivals it as well. You will understand the beauty and the majesty of the Chilean fjords. Absolutely gorgeous. I put my GoPro up. I had thought about doing it fully live, but it was 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning for me. East Coast, that would have been 4 a.m. West Coast, that would have been 1 a.m. And I decided that rather than do that and possibly have a signal that was not the best, I went ahead and just stuck my GoPro up, and we will post probably after we get home some of that and more of that video of us just sailing the Chilean fjords. After we entered the fjords, it was foggy, it was cloudy, but it was still gorgeous. And we went through those Chilean fjords for about an hour and a half that it was just absolutely gorgeous. Then we all got tired and went back to sleep. But in that time of the hour and a half or so that we were there, we saw 13 hanging glaciers. Just a beautiful, magnificent, gorgeous sight to see these glaciers that are just up there. And there were a couple of, this guy's got trouble going. He's just having a good time. There were some tidewater glaciers, only 1 or 2, but the rest of them were hanging glaciers, one of which was absolutely gorgeous. You got to remember, we're a month into summer here, and so it's time for the glaciers to be melting any of the snowpack that has accumulated from the winter time. And so one of those, the waterfall was immense, just coming down out of the glacier. Kay's asking, what is a hanging glacier? So if you know what a glacier is, it's just an ice flow, miles wide, tens and sometimes hundreds of miles long. A hanging glacier is one that does not reach the water directly. The front of the glacier is up on the mountain, and if you look on the mountain here, there aren't any hanging glaciers. But if you think about the ice being up there about halfway up this mountain that you see, and then the water that's coming from the melting ice and snow comes down as beautiful, absolutely gorgeous waterfalls. That is a hanging glacier. There were 13 of them along the Chilean fjords. Now, if you have been out of Whittier towards Valdez in Alaska, there is an excursion, and we took it last May with some friends, and it tours 27 glaciers, about half of which are hanging. The other half are what are called tidewater glaciers, where the face of that glacier is kissing the water, and it will calve into the water occasionally. If you've been to Glacier Bay, you'll come along and see those. Marjorie Glacier there kisses the water beautifully and is one of the more well-known tidewater glaciers that calves. Mendenhall Glacier does calve. It's not considered hanging because it comes into that lake that's right there. So just a beautiful, beautiful area. Let me get where I can see if you can hear the captain.
Very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. So everyone, gathered speaking, we hope you had an enjoyable day during the cold here in Ushuaia, port of Ushuaia. So at this time we are preparing for departure, just the last people coming back on board. However, as you have probably noticed, the wind condition has been quite strong through the afternoon. At the moment we are experiencing strong southwesterly winds, preventing us from departure on time. Port of Ushuaia has no tugboat, and therefore there is the only possibility, the only way to depart safely is having the wind condition lowering below the safe envelope of the equipment that we have. The plan is to be underway as soon as possible, as soon as conditions will allow us to go. Once we leave the bay, the port will be heading on an easterly direction through the Beagle Channel until we will exit into the Atlantic Ocean. That will happen very early in the morning, and commencing our passage into the Drake. Early morning will be sailing a beam of Paraguay, a beam of Cape Horn. There will be approximately 36 miles, 42 land miles, and Cape Horn is the prominent point that marks the northern boundary of the Drake Passage, and also marks where the Atlantic and the Pacific Ocean meet. The waters around Cape Horn are particularly hazardous owing to strong winds, large waves, strong currents. Passage is named after a 16th century English explorer and primitive, Sir Francis Drake. Drake Passage is considered one of the most treacherous voyages for ships to make. At the moment, the forecasts for tomorrow are quite rough. Nothing that you should be worried about, but definitely will not be a smooth crossing tomorrow. One clarification, I've been asked in more than one occasion about our auroras. So tonight, although the sky is partially clear, we do not have a sufficient planetary index to have visible auroras. We need at least a Kp value of 5 or above, and at the moment we have less than 3. So nevertheless, We may see particularly light conditions, which are still nice to observe, so nice color on the sky, but these are not auroras. Also, we need a total darkness to see auroras and not twilight conditions. So you can, if you think that there are very comprehensive sites on internet where they explain the phenomenon. And we will let you know definitely if we're coming into conditions that it is visible. For the night, after the departure, temperature 6 degrees Celsius, 45 Fahrenheit, strong gale, strong wind, 25-30 knots. At the moment, actually more. We have 38-40 at the moment. The sea condition in the channel tonight, in the bigger channel, will be calm, mostly calm, and later on 1.5 maximum from the southwest when we're reaching open sea. For tomorrow, the forecasts are slightly worsening, possibility of passing shower, rain. We have a system, a low pressure system coming into the Drake channel, the Drake passage. The wind tomorrow is forecast to be gale, severe gale force 8 to 9, 35, 40, at times can reach to 50 knots. And the swell will be from the west. We're looking into at the moment 4 meters swell, 15 feet possibly. The speed expected is quite high, 17, 18 knots. We will of course adjust the speed to keep the ship comfortable. And the distance to go until we reach the first area that we will be visiting, Nimrod Passage in the Antarctic Peninsula. The distance to go is 675 nautical miles. We have a full day at sea tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, that is all as I anticipated. Don't be surprised if you don't see the ship going. We are waiting conditions that allow us to do a safe departure maneuver. Thank you very much. Have a good evening. One more thing, if you need any seasick medication, please take it tonight, as tomorrow morning the ship may have already some movement. Thank you very much. Have a great evening.
Okay, so that is the captain. And we're going to hear the Spanish now, but I'll try to speak over it. So, so the captain just came on to tell us that there is too much wind right now for us to depart. The wind is coming directly from the port side of the ship, so there's not enough oomph from the thrusters to get us away from the dock safely. If we'd been on the other side of the dock, maybe there was we just hit it and go straight out. But we're on this side of the dock. We need to push the thrusters away from the dock. We need to turn the ship around. And right now it is too breezy for him to maneuver that. So we're delayed. He gave no indication about the length of the delay. I've been on cruises where we've been delayed an hour. I've been on cruises where we've been delayed 12 hours. So he gave no indication as to how that may happen, when that may happen. I'm sure that he has a hope and an idea. I mean, I've been on the water where sometimes the wind dies as soon as the sun goes down. Sundown here is not for another hour to an hour and 20 minutes. So there's an indicator there, but we'll just have to see. So for the meantime, I'm going to keep going on here until I realize that my battery is going to go. So we will not be going away from the shore, but I'll just continue to tell you what we've been seeing. Let me continue. Oh, I felt a raindrop. A little bit of some clouds here. So And here comes the rain. A light rain, so I'm just going to hang out here because my phone is waterproof, and I am too. If you heard the rest of his, if you were able to decipher what he was saying, tomorrow, tonight, or early in the morning tomorrow, we plan to be exiting the Beagle Channel, and we will be passing Cape Horn, and I think he said we're probably going to be 30 miles from it, so we won't see it. We saw it on our last cruise here 6 years ago. Cape Horn is the southernmost tip of South America. It is also considered the convergence of the Atlantic and the Pacific Oceans. And it is the beginning, marks the beginning of the Drake Passage, which he reminded us was named after Sir Francis Drake. So we are expecting, he said, 12 to 15 foot swells, 3 to 4 meters. We are expecting some breeze. He is also expecting to kind of gun it across at about 17 knots. So we're not going to just dawdle, we're going to book it. And he did remind everybody that if they do require seasick medication, they may want to take that tonight. There is some available from the ship. I'm sure we will see seasick bags placed around. Excuse me. Hi, Becky. But on another note, 6 years ago, Allison and I did this same, or actually reverse itinerary. And we, on our route back from Antarctica to South America, we were in 12 to 15 foot swells. And I felt that it was very doable. We had larger swells going up the east coast, the west coast of Chile, the next 2 days after we'd left here. So crossing the Drake Passage with 3 to 4 meter, 12 to 15 foot swells, gonna be a ride. I don't have any anxiety about that. I don't have any fear or trepidation. We definitely have a competent crew. The captain, of course, has absolutely no hesitation about continuing our voyage, and I have known times that the Sapphire or whatever Princess ship was going across, they did not go. So that has happened, but there is no hesitation on his part. So we are full steam ahead. We, like I said, expect to enter into the or out of the Beagle Channel early in the morning. We have a full day to day and a half of sailing across that Drake Passage. This evening in our cabin, we were given a map of the expected itinerary, which of course in big bold letters says possibility of change. But at this point, right now, we are going to be motoring directly towards the southernmost portion of our Antarctic experience. And so we are, I'll post a picture of that map because it's very intriguing to see. And we will be headed so that here we are, Saturday evening, 8:30, 8:20 in the evening. okay? And once we finally get away, let's guess. Let's say we depart here at midnight, okay? Tomorrow at midnight, we will be continuing across the Drake Passage. We will have gone across about 2/3 of it because we are expected to get to our scenic cruising area of Antarctica by noon Monday. So, what's that, 36 hours? So the next 8 to 12 hours, very smooth sailing down the Beagle Passage, Beagle Channel here. Then we get into open seas. Like I said, we hit the Pacific Atlantic convergence at Cape Horn. As we go through the day, we will cross what's called the Antarctic convergence, where the waters of the Atlantic and Pacific are going to converge with the waters of the Antarctic Ocean. And that can also cause a little bit extra wave action or some differences. And as the captain said, the Drake Passage is considered one of the most treacherous seas in the world. And here we are, a couple thousand of us happily sitting on the Sapphire Princess. We are so excited. We had dinner tonight. I had a wonderful pork chop, got my chocolate chip cookie with ice cream on it. It was a fudge cookie with vanilla ice cream. And we are just having the time of our life. We have seen penguins, we have seen seals, we have seen whales, we have seen dolphins. We continue to see birds. And tomorrow we are on our way to being intrepid explorers as we join those very few percent of the world's population who are blessed to enter into Antarctica. We are just so excited. Again, this is what we've planned for a couple years now. We've done it before. We'll do it again. Point I want to make. Open up Cruise Mapper anytime you want. And this is summer. This is the high season for Antarctica. And earlier today, or maybe it was yesterday, I opened up Cruise Mapper. There were a dozen ships going between Cape Horn and Antarctica. Today, there were probably a dozen ships going between Cape Horn and Antarctica. Tomorrow, I would assume that there will be a dozen ships going between Cape Horn and Antarctica. This is not something that is taken lightly. This is not something that is done, with let's just point and shoot. This crew knows what they're doing. When was the last time you heard of a ship sinking on its way from the Drake, across the Drake Passage? Okay? The most uncomfortable thing that's going to happen is somebody is going to get seasick. Otherwise, we are here. We are having the time of our life. We are checking off a huge bucket list item. Look at that sky. Look at that water. Look at this ship. We are just having a wonderful time enjoying this. And we are so glad that you have joined us. This is unbelievable. I know that I am not here just willy-nilly. This is a true blessing in my life to be able to see this beautiful, beautiful earth that has been created for us, that we can take and enjoy what we are given is just immensely incredible. And I appreciate those of you that have joined us and are just waiting with bated breath, with great anticipation, along with us as we head out towards that Drake Passage. So sorry for my just going on and on, but it's just, I cannot put all of it into words. This is a first world problem. I understand. I know. And we love it. I got to tell you, so this evening at dinner, with this expected initial scheduled sailing of 8 o'clock, many people were still on excursions. And of course, as we went to dinner, our scheduled dinner time of 5 o'clock, because we got in to port about 10:30 or 11 this morning. And so this is a full day. The dining room was empty. Normally we have anywhere from 60 to 70 of our group at dinner. We had 12. Everybody was out enjoying the port. Everybody was out doing something else for the evening. Not to say that the rest of us are a bunch of do-nothings, okay? I know a couple of them went ashore just like I did. And so we were sitting at dinner, and our new waiter, Ryan, wonderful young man, he flew in today here into Ushuaia to begin his 9-month contract. He was telling us he's from the Philippines. Many of the wait staff is from the Philippines. Many of the stewards are from the Philippines. And many of them are from many other places as well. India, you name it, they're from there. And so Ryan landed over here, right over there at the airport. He landed there this morning, as he flew in to begin his 9-month contract. So we asked him, where were you coming from and how was it? And he says, oh, I left Manila a while ago. I flew from Manila to Dubai, from Dubai to Brazil, didn't say which city, from Brazil to Buenos Aires, and from Buenos Aires down here to Ushuaia. There were 9 of us on the flight that are part of the Princess crew, another wait staff, security person, and some others. And they just arrived today, and I'm sure that at least 9 left today to finish out their contract. And Ryan, like I said, he arrived today and he was serving us dinner. What a fine young man. He was so excited to be here. He was so happy. Yes, he's left his family for 9 months to be part of the crew that serves us. What a wonderful demeanor that he had. He was just so excited and so just it was catchy. His enthusiasm was contagious, and we were just excited to have him, just as excited as he is to be here. And so we were just so happy to be here. So this is where we're at. We are enjoying a wonderful cruise. We are enjoying an incredible crew who love to serve, who love their jobs, and who love just to be part of us. So I know, like I said, this does not solve the world's problems by being on a cruise, but boy, it lifts our spirits, doesn't it? I'm so glad you're all here. I'm so glad that all of these crew members are able to be here. One sweet little girl, part of the wait staff from the Philippines, she was so excited. She says, this is my 3rd time around this season This is her second time, her second contract, and their contracts for that staff is every 9 months, and then they're home for 3. And this is her second contract, and I think she said 2 or 3 months into it. And then so from here, after the Sapphire Princess, after we run around Antarctica next week, we get back to Buenos Aires in a week and a half, we fly home. Some people in our group are staying on board, and the ship is headed up the coast, then across the Atlantic, and ends in Barcelona in about 40 days from now. And some of these wonderful people are staying on board then. She is so excited to go to Europe again. And then after that, the Sapphire Princess will be headed over to Asia. She is beside herself with excitement on being able to, as she said, go to Asia for the first time. Japan, China, Vietnam, and everywhere else over there. She is just so excited. So the crew, wonderful, wonderful people. We love to visit with them. The young man that was bringing us our drinks, Pepe, he said the first time he came to Ushuaia was in 2000. That's 26 years ago. And he was so excited to be back again, talking about one of his favorite restaurants that we should have gone to. Okay, we'll go there next time and go get this and go see this. He said that when he first came to Ushuaia in 2000, there were 800 people in town. Let me come around this side and let you see. Those white buildings right over here and a few homes. He said none of the rest of this really existed. Ushuaia has a population now of 80,000, nearly 80,000 people. And when he started 26 years ago, that's not very long ago. 800 people. What a change. What a change that has happened and occurred here at Ushuaia. Jumping off point to Antarctica. He was just so excited to be back. So excited to be going again. All right. Quick look. They're still standing around. I don't anticipate we're going to go anywhere shortly. We are still fast tied up. Here's the freighter still loading up. Oh, I got to tell you this morning. So look at the dock. If you look down here, you'll see that little silver car right there in the middle. So that's about in the middle of the ship. That's where the gangway was. We came right out of that and stepped onto our bus. Our bus was right there. Okay, and as I mentioned earlier, the buses, I think they all went to Tierra del Fuego and drove around on those dirt roads. There were 30 or 40 buses over there, and just so many of them. So, okay, I'm gonna decide, maybe I'll keep my signal. But so there were a good 30 or 40 buses. Well, we were in line with about at least a dozen to a dozen and a half buses. As we were trying to depart on the wharf, we sat there for an hour. Now that's very uncommon. We sat there, the bus idling, did not move. And like I said, 12 to 15 or more buses sitting there in a row, not moving. And we were like, what's going on? Of course, you know, we're very important people. We got to get going on our excursion. We can't, you know, miss out on seeing the world. Please note the sarcasm in my voice. Well, let me show you this beautiful. Just look at that. How's that for a sunset? Harbor is just gorgeous here. Just beautiful. There's the airport right there. Okay, I'm trying to get behind the windscreen because it's cold and breezy. I hope you can hear me okay. Hope the little fuzzball's doing its job. I may go back. It's too windy. This is why we're not leaving. But so yeah, we sat there for an hour, and we were told by the guide, she was in constant contact with her boss, that there was a strike going on of dock workers. All 10 of them walked out. So there we were, 12, 15 buses, couldn't get past because the dock workers are on strike to allow us off the wharf. We'd been told that actually the National Guard had come in to try to administer and help us get off the dock. That still wasn't happening. And I guess somehow the 10 workers decided that a 1 hour strike was all that they needed to make some point. And then we started moving, and off we went on our excursion. It did not detract from our excursion. We had the full experience. There was at no time that the guide was like, oh no, we have to hurry because we're behind schedule. No, that didn't happen. We saw all the points of interest that we wanted to see. We were able to just have a wonderful excursion today. But yeah, I thought that was interesting that first time I've experienced being a direct effect person from a strike, again, of 10 workers who apparently don't like their working conditions. So yeah, we were texting back and forth between different ones of us in the group. And as far as we know, the group that was still behind us, they went off right away. We still watched fuel trucks come out on the wharf, and that freighter, they came out on the wharf. But it was just getting off the wharf that was held up. But after the hour, off we went, and we had a beautiful excursion, a beautiful day. So just thought I'd share that. So now you know our experience in Ushuaia with our excursion and our our dock strike. Just a beautiful day here. Let me look at my battery. Hold on. Battery here. So I'm gonna go on. Oh, yep, 20% battery. Okay, we're good for a few minutes. Anybody have any questions? I've tried to fill in the time here. Allison, like I said, is meeting with others. We divide and conquer. We love everybody here on these excursions, on the group cruises. We just have so much fun with everybody. But we want to make sure that that we are continuing to take care of those of you who are not here with us and get to see our point and we'll get to see our view. We love cruising. We love the ability to hop on a ship. And so yesterday, in fact, it hit us as we were on the tender back to the Sapphire Princess. Okay, Sapphire Princess is one of the oldest ships in the fleet. Wonderful ship. It's you know, it's old, but it's in very good working condition. We were warm for the first day, but right now the ship is tuned for Antarctica, and we were sitting in Buenos Aires where it was 90 degrees. So yeah, you can expect some warmth in your cabin. That's all right. It's okay. You just don't climb under the covers to go to sleep. You sleep on top for the evening. Not a problem. So here we are on the Sapphire Princess. As we were on the tender coming back out to the ship, and looked up at it, it hit us. Our first cruise on the Sapphire Princess was July of 2018. We departed Southampton in England, and we went north, and we went through the Norwegian fjords and went as far as Norcop, okay, the North Cape, the northernmost city in Europe. And we entered the Arctic Circle, and we experienced the midnight sun. We were able to see the sun set at 12:30 at night, and it never fully set. It kissed the horizon and then started on its rise. And that was on this ship in the Arctic. And here we are from 2018 until 2026. So we're talking 7.5, almost 8 years. We are on the same ship, and we are about to enter Antarctica. And what a fantastic experience this is going to be. But that really brought it home to us about not only are we able to see so much of this world, but so are these crew, and so are these ships and everybody involved with it. Last year we were on this ship in Alaska in May. And to think that this ship, I don't know how many times it would have circumvented the globe. How many times has it gone from north to south, east to west, through the Panama Canal, around Cape Horn, or around Cape Town, South Africa, or up into the Mediterranean, up into the Norwegian fjords, and this morning to see the Chilean fjords, and last year to see the Alaska shoreline. What a wonderful experience we're having. This same ship. We are just so excited to be here. Last time Allison and I came on this cruise in 2020 was right before the COVID experience of the world. And we were on the Coral Princess, first time we'd ever been on that class of a ship. And maybe it was the Island. I need to go back to my notes. It was either the Island or the Coral. So it was a slightly smaller ship than what we're on now. That was our first time on it. But we have been on those ships. We've been on the Island. We've been on the Coral again. Iceland, again into the Arctic Circle. Panama Canal, okay? One of those is our expected ship into the Mediterranean next fall for the 50-day Grand Odyssey. One of those ships we're going to meet in Hong Kong in April and travel from Hong Kong to Tokyo for our 40th anniversary and my return to Japan after 45 years. So we're very excited for that. So these ships are just incredible. Next year, the Majestic Princess is planned to be here in Antarctica. The Majestic Princess is the first ship that we hopped on post-COVID and went to Alaska in August of 2021, and then into Mexican Riviera, October of 2021. So, been on the Majestic. And if anybody had joined us there and is going to be on that next year, you're going to be in both hemispheres, northern and southern. Okay. Our next cruise, like I said, is going to be that one in Japan. So that'll be a returning to one of our favorite ships. Then in May or June, don't remember which, we're going to be in Alaska on the Star Princess. The Star Princess, as you remember, we were on the inaugural cruise out of Barcelona around the Mediterranean. And then a month later, we were on its inaugural Caribbean cruise. Okay, that first inaugural cruise was its first passenger carrying cruise. Then we were on it in the Caribbean a month later. And then we will be on it in Alaska. Those of you that may be taking it across the Panama Canal in April, boy, what a journey that'll be. You won't go through the traditional locks, the historic locks. You'll be in the new locks, but still traversing the Panama Canal. Just what a wonderful journey, and we hope that some of you are going to join us on that Alaska cruise. Just so excited for that. I'm sorry that we're not able to actually do a Sailaway here. I'm hoping that you've all been enjoying the view. Just a beautiful, beautiful view down the Beagle Channel. Just gorgeous. The wind actually kicked up the last few minutes, so I don't anticipate that we're going to be heading off very soon. But I think I'm going to have to end here soon because my battery, like I said, is getting down there. So I hope that you've enjoyed. I'm going to hang on at least to the hour so we can at least hit a 60-minute mark. So we've still got a few minutes. So Becky, a pleasure to be with you this evening as well. Bit of housekeeping. I want to do some lives from Antarctica. We have noticed as we have gone south here that the internet has slowed. I don't know what my picture looks like here right now. I'm hoping that you have not had a pixelated experience this evening, that it has been a full, beautiful shot. And so we will be testing it. I will review this live. Okay, thank you, Becky. Yes. Glad the picture is good. So I am planning at a couple of times to do a live. We will continue to post photos and short clip videos as we go along so you can experience with us what we see here. One of the first videos I ever made pre-YouTube was a little clip of us enjoying the waves in the Coral Princess, Island Princess. Again, I'll have to look at which one it was. As we enjoyed going up the Chilean coast, and that was more than 15-foot swells. Those were a little bit more. And I took a little clip, and I may have posted it at some point. But we'll get some nice little clips. We'll get some video. We'll get some photos and let you see. Watch for our clips or our photos from our excursion today. If we get a minute with everything else going on, we hope to do today's video. If we don't get it this morning, we will try to give it this evening. Will I be able to give advance warning? I'm not sure. I hope to. And the other thing is, I plan not to do lives in the middle of the night. So if we do a live, hopefully it'll be at a time when, if you're at work, just turn the monitor so your boss doesn't see it. And if it's later, the sun does not set until 10:30 at night when we are in Antarctica. 10:30 at night in Antarctica is 8:30 on the East Coast. So if you consider about this time in the evening, that may be good. We want to take you and show you just what we see. And anybody who's been here will know, of course, it does not, videos don't do it justice, photos don't do it justice. The majesty of it, the magnificence of it is just something to be beholded in person if you get an opportunity, if you get the funds, if you get a chance. I highly recommend a trip to Antarctica. So I'm going to go ahead and thank you all for being here this evening. Thank you all for joining us as much as you do. We love you all. We love to travel and share. And I will pass my love on to Allison this evening. I'll go down and save her from whatever is happening and move her on to the next. So thank you all for being here. Hope that you've enjoyed some of the dialogue and the sharing of what we've done. This is just such a wonderful trip, and we will plan to see you all soon. You all take good care. God bless you. Love you. Have a good night.